Hello, my name is John Wilson. In this video, I'd briefly like to show you how to use GIL-Find as well as how to find ebooks within Galileo. Alright, so let's get started. What we want to do is we'll click on a web browser. And once we're at a web browser, we want to go to gsw.edu. And from there, we want to hover over Academics. And then underneath Academic Resources, we want to click on the library link. And once you're on that library link, you'll scroll down. Now there are three links to library resources that are going to be very valuable to you as a student. And of course, that's Galileo, and of course that is going to be GIL-Find and TAPASA. TAPASA is our interlibrary loan program, and you'll learn about that in those videos on Galileo that you're about to watch. But in this one, instead of focusing just on TAPASA or just on Galileo, let's look at GIL-Find and finding the ebook collections within Galileo. Alright, so what is GIL-Find? GIL-Find is simply our online library catalog, and when it's set to Georgia Southwestern, it's going to show you all those physical items within the JEC library building. Okay. Now I realize a lot of you are online students, so we're also going to look at how to find ebooks. So let's look at let's say we chose a deadly virus as our broad topic, and we've narrowed it down, and we want to do a research paper on Ebola, right? Let's look at what we offer on Ebola. So we've got our keyword in, and we're at Georgia Southwestern again, so let's hit search. Now if we're interested in finding those physical items, which would be books or government documents that are within the library catalog, we would simply filter to available in the library. As you can see, this is a government fiche. So all this is pretty much government fiche. And that can all be found within the JEC library. So you would literally have to come on the campus in order to get it, right? Now if you're interested in books, you're not interested in a fiche, which is just plastic that you put up underneath a kind of like a large magnifying glass that shows the negatives on a screen, and then you can print it off like an article. You see it in a lot of crime movies typically. It's pretty much an old-timey thing. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with using microfilm or microfiche. Anyway, if you're interested in a physical book, and there's not one here, what we can do is we can begin to look at all the libraries within the University System of Georgia, which is over 20 libraries, and they include UGA, Savannah State, Columbus. And to do that, to look at all the titles that are offered, all we need to do is type in our keyword, and then we need to toggle the down arrow from Georgia Southwestern to University System of Georgia. So now we're looking at all the books within the system. So as you can see right here, we have 11 items. Let's look at what happens after we hit search and we're looking through the USG. So now we have 431 items, right? And you see we have all these books to choose from. And let's see, this one would be great for me. This is Myths and Facts for Dummies. So it looks like it would be simplified, which is something perfect for me. So I would click on it. And you can see that only Georgia State University has it, and we can certainly order that book very quickly. But let's look at something that has several selections. Because a lot of times these libraries, many will have the same item, so it gives you options of choosing which library you want to get the book from. So here's one on the trail of Ebola. Let's click on that one. As you can see, Georgia College has it, Georgia State, Kennesaw State, and the University of Georgia. To get that book, you would first want to sign into your account. Now, if you're off campus, once you hit this button, you'll have to enter in your GSW email address and whatever that password is in order to access it. If you're on campus, it will automatically external authenticate you once you click on this button. So watch this. I'm on campus, so I'll click this button. And then right here where it says login as, I'll click on faculty, and now I'm externally authenticated, so I didn't even have to enter in that information. But if you are off campus, you'll have to just put in those Cambridge credentials really quick. Alright, so now that I'm logged in, I would simply go to, let's go to Georgia College. And once I click on Georgia College, I would simply hit request. And I want to make sure the pickup location is GSW. And if you do order a book and you want to pick it up on campus, right? You have to go currently to the Marshall Student Center, which is right across I'm sorry, the Marshall Student Center. And once you're inside of it, it's going to be right across from Human Resources. And that's where we are. That's where you pick up that book. And it's very easy to get. Once you have this filled in, you would just simply hit request, and that book will be here in 3 to 4 business days. Now, I realize that a lot of you are completely online. You won't be able to come to campus to get a book, and that's fine. We can also look at our ebook collection. So now let's go back right here. All right, let's toggle this back from University System of Georgia to just Georgia Southwestern. And let's type in, once again, our keyword, Ebola. Let's hit enter. And let's look at what we have full access to online. So as you can see, we have a lot of titles for Ebola, and you'll see this online link. What this will do is it'll take you to the specific database that contains it within Galileo, and we can click on another link once we're on the detailed record page. It'll take us right to that ebook. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's look at Ebola and Evolving Story. I would simply want to click Online Access, and it'll take us to EBSCOhost. I would just simply want to click on this link. And here I am. I'm within Galileo right now in the EBSCOhost database. Here is a brief description of that book. Here's some information, such as author, publication information. And to access the book, I would just simply click PDF full text, and it'll pull up the entire book, including the chapters, which are right here. So we have a table of contents that you can go through. And of course, you can read it right here on your screen. And if you look up here, you can email certain pages to yourself that you're interested in. You can also get the citation of the book. So let's look at APA right here. And remember, this is computer generated, so the probability of error is very high with citations when it's computer generated. And I think you can already see that they've made some mistakes. This is APA, right? Look at that. James, the first name, shouldn't be first, right? And it should only be the initial. The last name should come first, comma, and then the initial of the first name, correct? Right here, if we look at the title, Ebola, an Evolving Story, we should not see the E here or the S here capitalized. So we're already seeing some major errors with the citation. So you don't want to just copy and paste. You want to double check. All right, let me exit out real quick. Now, what I love about ebooks is that they act as their own search engine. So I can go to search within right here. And if there's a keyword I wanted to enter to find out specifically about Ebola, I could certainly do that. Let's think of one real quick. Let's try, let's try infection. And you can see that we see that infection has been mentioned 80 times within this book. And if we click on this sentence, like for example on page 59, it should take us right to the page where infection is mentioned. Okay? So very nice, very easy to do within GIL-Find. Now, the only problem with this is that not all the ebooks that you could find on Ebola are going to be located in GIL-Find. GIL-Find is heavily concentrated on mostly EBSCOhost books and a little bit of ProQuest, but what I really recommend is that you go straight into Galileo to our ebook databases where you can just access them without a third party, without GIL-Find to be there. Let me show you how to do that real quick. What we want to do is we want to go back to our James Earl Carter Library tab. And of course, we've just learned about GIL-Find, right? That's our online library catalog, and it gives us access to all the titles in our library at GSW, as well as all of the titles within the USG libraries. It's a wonderful asset. You should always use that. But let's look at Galileo now. Let's click on Galileo. Now we're looking at our online database collection where you can find hundreds of thousands of articles and even more ebooks. Now, right here on the home page, you can already see this is an EBSCO ebook icon. It'll take you right to the database where that Ebola book we just looked at came from. And this is an even better database, in my opinion, for ebooks, and this is ProQuest Central. ProQuest eBook Central is miles and miles better, in my opinion, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. But let me show you a third way to get to the ebook collection. Simply go to all databases. go to types, and if we look right here, books, ebooks, and book reviews, click on it. And here are 22 databases with ebooks waiting for you to explore, okay? So now you know how to find those ebook databases to find tons of books for your projects. Let's go back. All right, so now let's quickly jump into eBook Central. I just want to show you this real quick. Let's once again use the keyword Ebola. And of course, the more keywords you have, the more narrow and specific your search becomes, which can save you a lot of time. But for me, I'm just doing a quick broad search just for an example. Let me search Ebola. Here we have 4,213 results. Of course, we can refine those results or narrow them down right here. But for sake of time, let's just click on the first one we see, Ebola outbreak. Of course, here, once again, is a description of what that book's about. Here is some detailed information. Now, if we like it, here's a citation. If we like it, we want to use it, simply click Read Online. It's going to open up that book. And again, we can search within it. And if we look up here, we can save a PDF of specific pages. Perhaps there's 3 pages in this book that we find very useful. We can, of course, PDF those, save that to the desktop, and have it whenever we need it. Here, of course, is a citation. And this is MLA. And as you can see, the second line here is not indented. So if you were to simply copy and paste that, you'd probably be in a little bit of trouble. All right, so you always want to double check those computer-generated citations because the probability for error does exist. Let's go to APA real quick. Here we have APA. And as you can see, unlike the last one, we see the last name first, followed by the first name, which is only the initial, which is absolutely correct. And of course, we see that this is lowercase now. So this citation looks much better than that last one. Always double check those citations. All right, let's search within the book. We'll use the same search term. We'll do infection. Okay, 7 results for infection. And if you look right here at the chapters or the table of contents, you'll see where infections mentioned the most in certain chapters. So we see a big concentration here, followed by a tiny concentration. And here's another pretty big concentration, which is in the glossary and makes a lot of sense. So let's go right here to chapter 1. So here we can see where it's mentioned. Let's click on this page right here. And as you can see, everywhere infection is written, it's going to be highlighted, so it makes it that much easier to find that information. As you can see, it's going to save you a ton of time, and I hope you use this. Very wonderful resources, and they're going to be very helpful for your projects. All right, I hope that you found this video helpful. Thank you.